So put yourself in the banker's position. The bankers have lent out trillions of dollars at the peak of these real estate markets, right? All over the world. And if you just lent out a bunch of money, and on your balance sheet it says that you lent out X amount of billions and billions of dollars based on the nominal value of real estate, what a bunch of brokers and appraisers told you, and then you see the prices get cut. Let's say real estate were to get cut in half, which is probably what it should be, or actually be more than in half right now. But let's say it actually got cut in half. What happens to your balance sheet? Your balance sheet gets cut in half, and you have to make up the difference on that now. Okay, so bankers are on the hook for that. That's a big deal. They don't have that kind of money to do that. None of them do. It's all fake. That's why that's where the scam comes in, of these shill transactions, or what I call shill transactions. These are transactions that are done periodically, and it's just to keep these prices artificially high. It also keeps rent comps artificially high too, because they need to have that up as well. So when you create all these shill transactions, or it gives the illusion that the property that you're trying to buy has all this value, even though it really doesn't. If somebody were to try and go buy that property, like for real, based on its actual value, then they're going to say no, right? How do banks lend money? What's the trick to get a bank to lend you money? Have more to lose than they do. That's it. That's the only deal. So what you're seeing in real estate is, once again, tons and tons and tons of shill transactions. Those shill transactions keep these prices artificially inflated of all these houses, and not just houses, but also rental complexes, etc. And then there was also, to answer a question, there was a maintenance guy who was asking about how he was like, hey, why is it that like none of these subcontractors, none of these plumbing contractors, electrical contractors, like they won't come to our apartment complexes anymore? It's a number of different reasons, but the biggest one is triage. Companies are doing what they can. These rental companies are doing what they can to not pay out anything that they don't absolutely have to. They're conserving as much cash as they can. They could also be doing things on their books to make the place look more valuable than it actually is. That's the other reason. So that on paper, if they're looking to sell it, right, it's greater fool theory. You want to make the business look like it has way more profit than it does, so that way that the buyer who comes in and says, oh wow, look, this is a great deal, man, why are you selling? Like, let me just, as a businessman, tell you this. Businessmen, people who are in business, they don't generally sell a profitable business, right? If it's cash flowing properly and it's making money, they don't generally sell it, right? Like, they have no incentive to. The only reason they would sell it is greater fool theory. Some retard, a buyer shows up and says, hey, I'll give you a bunch of money for this business. And what is someone who owns a profitable business says, well, it's not really for sale because I'm making plenty of money off of it, but if you insist and you're going to pay me like 4 times what this business is actually worth, they're going to do what anybody else would do. They're not made of stone, right? You can back a dump truck load of money up to my house. I'm going to say, sure, man, sign here. That's how this works. That's why you're seeing all of this. And it's too many dollars chasing too few profit opportunities, too many dollars chasing too few goods and services. That's what's happening with all of this. So